Does it have more than 1 million followers? And if they did, I bet you Pluto bought them.
I bet you they did. Is there a Twitter account just called at Pluto, and it's Pluto's
the planet,
whoever the
publicist,
publicist for Pluto is, Pluto publicist.
Yeah, in the little space about the description, it says X planet.
Yeah,
will be a planet again.
Earth probably has the best publicist.
Was he going to call in today?
He's calling in right now.
Right.
Yeah, I just texted him.
Okay.
He was trying to call when we were offline, but it didn't work. So we should be getting a phone call from our
Picks.
fantasy guru,
do we have a
Nicholas Lindy.
Lead-in? Do we have a musical lead-in for Nick yet?
Yeah, Matt had this one recorded. It went something like bum ba da ba ba da da ba. Bum ba da bum bum ba da
down. He didn't record it.
Bum bum ba da da bum 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 ba da dum. I don't even know if that's the NFL. Dude, they're the ones who would be the first to flag our video.
They never have though.
Whoa! Hey, what was that? Was that a saxophone?
I don't know. Can we figure out from that song where it was sampled from? Oh my goodness! So he's saying that the person we're trying to reach is unavailable. Give the right number.
612-351-6729. Let's talk sports. We're on the phone with Jerry. Jerry, how you doing?
Well, I've got the experience.
What's the rest of that?
612-351-6729.
Yeah, I know, Jerry. Yeah, it's without this right, that Dallas suck. That's what it is. Poor Tony Romo.
Well, a little bit of technical issues here.
When do we not have technical issues?
Hey, man, you know,
I love it.
It is what it is.
Do it to power through.
Is it not working? All right, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to call him. We're going to do this. We're going to do this for this freaking thing. Sort out what? Yeah.
So
do we have? Okay, because here. I'm gonna just have
Andy
him.
Dalton is going bananas. Can we talk football? We're going to talk football.
Hold on. Let's make sure the number's right first.
This number 612-351.
Yeah, I know. Let me just make sure I confirmed everything on it. So.
Okay. I think. Oh, did you hear that they might be not letting what's his name play this week? Whedon. They're gonna take out Whedon, put in Matt Castle.
Bring it, Matt Castle. I liked him as a Viking.
You did? He was like the worst ever.
He was not the worst ever.
He was pretty bad.
Let's see. Who was the worst? I don't know. Aren't you forgetting? Man by the name of
Christian Ponder. Christian Ponder. Okay, so you remember that? You remember that one week where everyone was like, bench Christian Ponder, start Matt Castle. Then they started Matt Castle, and he looked like he was literally a 5-year-old that had never touched a football. And then everyone was like, put in Christian Ponder. We miss that guy. Okay. He looks like a dentist. Okay. So nice.
Castle was not prepared. He didn't know enough about the Vikings. If the Vikings gave him,
you think they just keep him in the locker room during practice? Dude, he just hangs out. If you're not
getting first team snaps, it's the pace of game goes so much faster when you're on the practice squad than when you're on the first team snaps. And if they would have, and what kind of
but Ponder was already.
How would you feel if some piece of shit that you knew that you were better than, i.e. Christian Ponder, was getting this starting goal? Was it, who was it? Childress? Was it still Childress?
No, not by that point.
Who was it?
Frazier, maybe?
Well, glad.
Probably 2 years ago.
Yeah, you're right. It might have been Frazier. He was a conservative. There was conservative coach. Now we got, I like where we're going. Teddy Bridgewater. Ooh, now you could put in.
He's an athletic guy.
He's got a bullet. He's got a gun. I like his decision making. He's a man. He's a man.
And this is just his first year. I mean, hopefully he'll second year, yeah, and hopefully he'll keep improving. But
it's gonna be fun. I
think that this year in football has just been really weird. It's just been very up and down. It's been all over the place. There's no consistency in anybody.
We're supposed to do really well are not doing.
No, they're not. I mean, you look at
the Dolphins.
Dolphin. You look at a team like Philadelphia, man.
Oh,
Philadelphia. Are we good? Okay.
the Bills. The Bills should have been. Oh,
I mean, well, no. Look at a team like Philadelphia. They have DeMarco Murray, Darren Sproles, and Ryan Matthews in the backfield. Three of probably
really
the better running backs. I mean, DeMarco was the best last year, and
I think that was contract.
And Darren Sproles was really good, and then Ryan Matthews was like the leading.
He was clutch.
Do we got a caller? Is that right?
Hey.
Oh, hello, Nicholas.
Can you hear me?
Yes. How's it going, Mr. Lindy?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, bud?
Hold on one second here.
All right, we gotta play your intro music, We're playing the intro music for Nick.
Well, you're not affiliated with Fox or Fox Sports.
In any way, we're not getting any money for this.
To Nick's Picks.
This is Nick's Picks. All right, Nick. Just to take a second and introduce Nick really quick. This is Nick Lindy, a friend of mine, a fantasy football guru. Nick, tell everybody how much money you won last year playing fantasy.
I don't know if I should tell based on taxes, but I mean, it's not an insane amount, but I won, between $7,000 and $8,000.
$7,000.
That's right.
So
that's right.
This guy knows what he's doing, folks, and he's here with us today to just give a couple of give some insight as to who he thinks is maybe some good waiver wire pickups, just trending
opinion.
up, trending down, maybe some injury reports. So why don't we just hand it over to Nick for Nick's picks and just
doctor of fantasy football,
see what he's
Nick
got
Lindy.
for us. It's all in your hands, Nick.
Well, yeah, I'm a little bit upset with fantasy this year. It's not been quite the year that I was expecting it to be, and I think a lot of people are in the same boat with me on that. There's been a lot of inconsistency on the people that you may have targeted in the first, 3-4 rounds of the draft, and there's also been quite a few injuries. Obviously, Jamal Charles just went down this past weekend with
that's devastating.
ACL injury.
Wait, so
let me
ask you, who are you favoring as his backup, Niall Davis or Sharkhandrick West?
So I don't know a lot about West.
Don't you love how these moms name these kids? Sharkhandrick.
It seems to be that's where Andy Reid sounds like he's wanting to go from all the reports and stuff that I've read. I don't know a lot about him, but in the preseason, he had some really good numbers. I think he was averaging around 5 yards a carry in the preseason.
That's pretty good.
And then when Charles went out last weekend, he was getting all the reps and stuff like that. So it seems like that's kind of who they're favoring.
Which is interesting. Right now, because last year Niall Davis was doing really well as Jamal Charles, because Jamal missed a game or two last year, and Niall Davis was great.
Yeah. I think I can't remember how many games it was last year, but I think it was around 2 or 3. But I mean, he was definitely a fantasy play last year when Charles was not in.
Right.
I can't remember what the stat is, but I think in the 6 games he started or something like that, he averaged double-digit fantasy points.
Oh yeah.
So it's a little bit strange. I think that they're going that way, but obviously they see something that I don't get to see. It's not like I watch game film and stuff like that. So
right.
I'm gonna have to give it up to the experts and the coaches to pick that one. So that team is probably like the biggest fantasy pickup for the week.
Yes.
Would probably be him. A lot of people are saying that they would spend probably like half of their fab budget on that. So if you play like an $100 fab, $50 they would spend on him, which seems a little bit high for me personally.
Way too high. I'm not about, especially when it's split down the middle like that. I'm not about to put $50 in on Sharkhandrick if all of a sudden Niall Davis comes out as the top back. I mean, that's what happened with Tevin Coleman and Devonta Freeman. Mm-hmm. They both.
Look at what Devonta Freeman is. Jesus, for crying outside! Yeah. You know what? Nothing can stop Devonta Freeman.
It's pretty ridiculous. He's definitely, I think, surprised a lot of people. His ADP was in the 10th or 11th round from the draft I was in, and right now he's the number 1 fantasy player in PPR league.
Well, and what was Tevin Coleman? Everyone was thinking Tevin Coleman was going to get the job, and that Devonta Freeman was going to fall by the wayside. That was the whole speculation.
Oh yeah, I remember you were really big on him in the couple of drafts that we did together. He was, I think, landing somewhere in the 6th or 7th round.
Right.
So definitely, quite a bit higher than Devonta. So yeah, I mean, that's just another example of like how strange I think this year has gone. There's always some ups and downs and injuries and stuff like that, but this year just seems a lot more inconsistent than anything that I've been used to seeing. And I think this is like my 12th year playing.
Right.
And it's been pretty strange. Just for example, last week, if you were to take the top players at every position, and I only play PPR, so a lot of my leagues are either full point or half point PPR. So the number one quarterback last week would have been Josh McCown.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was undrafted.
Yep.
Doug Martin was
Bananas.
right up there with him and Devonta Freeman. And Martin's ADP kind of went up quite a bit leading up to the opening of the season, but he was still, 4th or 5th round ADP. Devonta Freeman was who? Doug Martin?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I haven't been following his stats.
Yeah, I mean, the last 2 weeks,
kicked my ass.
I think he's got 4 touchdowns the last 2 weeks, 1 receiving, 3 rushing.
Wow.
Over 100 yards each week rushing.
Wow.
No
one wanted Doug Martin. Last year, no one wanted Doug Martin.
Yeah, and then like flex play, Thomas Rawls, that was somebody that you mentioned that you went out and picked up, which I think he had just an outstanding game filling in there for Lynch. He had 169 yards on the ground and a touchdown.
You know who else I want to talk about? Marcus Wilson, the backup receiver for the Chicago Bears, had a pretty big game too, and that was totally predicted by everyone.
Yeah, him and Kareem from Baltimore side. Sound like those are two of the big guys that people were going after. But I don't think in Chicago it's kind of a rough situation right now.
Right.
Cutler's been up and down, he's been hurt, and obviously Alshon Jeffrey being hurt. I would have expected Martellus Bennett to do a lot better than he did last week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question: Who are you trusting as far as Broncos backfield right now? Because I think that between C.J. Anderson and Ronnie Hillman, it's pretty much a toss-up. I mean, at this point, both of them have been completely disappointing.
Yeah, it's been really rough, and I think that's one of the bigger surprises again this year. C.J. Anderson was coming out there at the end of the first round, and Ronnie Hillman was grabbed as maybe a handcuff in the late rounds of the draft. Yeah, and I don't know. Ronnie Hillman looks like he's got a bit of a toe injury this week. I don't know how serious it is. He is showing up on the injury reports. Sorry, not a toe injury, a hamstring. Excuse me. And it doesn't sound like it's super serious. But I'm just not a fan of what I've seen out of Anderson so far this year. So I'm not jumping for any of them at this point, to be honest with you.
Are either of them droppable, do you think?
Wow. I mean, it'd be really, really hard to drop your first round draft pick at this point, being 5 weeks in, I don't know. That's a tough call. It depends who's out there, I guess.
Well, like this week, like I have my tight end is Jason Witten, and I'm looking at the waiver wire and I see Gary Barnidge from the Ravens, and he had a pretty decent game last week and a couple before that. So I'm thinking, okay, I really need this guy, but I don't really have anyone else to drop. And the only one I have drop is like I could drop Ronnie or Terrence Williams. So I'm probably going to drop Terrence Williams.
Terrence Williams is sitting on my bench, and what a pile of trash that is.
I mean, he scores. He's just a touchdown-dependent wide receiver. That's the tough thing about. He's like Pierre Garçon. He's just this right.
Yeah,
I mean, would you agree with that? He's just a fringe wide receiver with a touchdown, boom or bust play.
I would say boom or bust touchdown. But Gary Barnidge, I think he's another one that I've been targeting a lot. I looked for him last week. I ended up dropping him in one league because I was able to pick up Gates, which in the end it ended up somewhat being a wash.
Right.
But Barnidge, he's only owned in around 50% of leagues right now.
Yeah, he's
not really. He's a great pickup.
I think so too. And if you think about it, who else do the Ravens have to throw to? Right? I mean, they just don't have.
It's actually Cleveland. It's Cleveland.
Oh, it was Barnidge Cleveland. Why did I think it was the Ravens? Who was the Ravens tight end?
You're thinking of Crockett Gilmore.
That's it. They both have stupid names.
Yeah.
They're both
Barnidge, I think is a great pickup.
Names.
They don't really have anyone to throw to. They have Travis Benjamin, another great example of somebody that was not on anyone's radar, and he's going, right now as the top 5, top 7 in PPR leagues in terms of points for wide receiver, which is pretty insane.
Pretty
impressive. He was
Larry Fitzgerald, there's another one.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't been relevant in 3 or 4 years. That's another guy that came out of nowhere.
Killing it.
But I think a lot of it comes down to the quarterback play in terms of that. You look, last year when Carson Palmer got hurt, their entire passing game went out the window.
That's true.
The same thing's going on right now. I was a huge fan of Antonio Brown going in the season. I took him
has he not been
with
doing
my
so
number
well?
one pick everywhere, and that with Vic. Vic being in there, I mean, he's pedestrian at best, and
that's true.
I mean, he's throwing for 100, 150 yards a game, and it's, I don't know, I'm kind of at the point now where I'm wondering if I need to sit him, for somebody else.
Yeah.
Maybe a Travis Benjamin, or if you can go lower down the list, I know I have John Brown in a couple leagues. And
it's hard to imagine having to sit Antonio Brown, but it's crazy.
I know, right?
The other week I had to sit Drew Brees for Derek Carr. Who would have ever thought that he would ever do that? But I had to. And Derek Carr has been fairly productive. I mean, Amari Cooper and Latavius Murray have been great. They've been great.
It's been a real surprise for a season.
Yeah.
Everyone
when I'm looking at sorry.
No, you go ahead.
When I'm looking at the top, 15 right now in one of my leagues, I mean, you got DeAndre Hopkins in there, which, I mean, he was going in, the 4th, 5th round in most of my drafts. So it's a bit of a surprise to see him that high. I would, maybe in the top 25, but not that high. Fitzgerald, 6th, and then Tyrod Taylor, another great example of somebody that came out of nowhere. I mean, he's sitting 10th overall right now. He's a top 5 quarterback. The only thing to watch for him, though, is he's hurt right now, and they're pretty hush-hush with it, but it sounds like it's an MCL sprain.
That
could be a
puts you out for a
game
couple
thing.
weeks.
Yeah,
so
that's
crazy how we
definitely
talk about injury like that.
Right.
You got a couple of weeks, he'll be back, he'll be fine.
So if you
just tore a major thing in his body, just give him a couple of days, shoot him up with the thing and put a wrap it up, tape it up, kiddo.
So if you were to give us a couple of hot pickups this week from the waiver wire, I mean, tomorrow is like Christmas Day for every fantasy football player, because you wake up in the morning like, oh my god, I got him, and they're like, oh fuck, I didn't get him. Who would
absolutely.
you say?
Socks.
I mean,
who should we be targeting?
We already talked about him, but Charkandrick West is definitely number one on people's radar right now. And then Miles Davis might be sitting somewhere behind him. I guess I still don't know what to think. I'd like to wait a week to see what they're going to do, but obviously you can't.
No, someone's going to pick him up, both of them.
Yeah, without a doubt, they're both going to go for sure. I would lean more towards West just because of what I've read and what Andy Reid is saying, stuff like that. A wide receiver that is owned maybe in around 30% of leagues right now is Willie Snead from New Orleans, and he's definitely come on strong over the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, but I can't trust anything down there in the receiving core in Nowlands, because Breeze just it goes everywhere.
Yeah, he's definitely known for spraying the ball around, that's for sure. Yeah. I mean, when you had Jimmy Graham, you knew what was going to happen every week, and that was your go-to. But
that was a crazy thing. Did you expect that there, Nicky?
Yeah, it's definitely changed the whole atmosphere down there, losing Jimmy Graham.
Oh, yeah.
Brandon Cooks was somebody that I targeted really high in the 2nd or 3rd round. I was happy to get him in the 3rd round, and he hasn't looked very good.
No, he looked horrible. And then, except for last week, he put on a little show.
Yeah.
So what about?
He did. Over 100 yards.
Finally got him dang end zone.
What about
first time this season?
What about? Let's wrap it up with what I think would be a helpful thing just for everyone. What would you think? What would you say are some favorable matchups this week? I mean, who do you think are the guys that are what are the teams that
who's
you
gonna
think
blow up?
Yeah, which team is gonna lose bad, and who's gonna score against who? Just some good matchups this week that we can start. Any offensive player playing the Tennessee Titans, you should start them.
Yeah, definitely. I think looking at the New England Indy matchup is a big one.
Yes.
If you got Brady, you got Gronk, you got Edelman. The Dion Lewis, LeGarrette Blount thing is a little bit.
Right.
I think hazy right now, just Blount seemed to get most of the carries last week. I think he had 13 for 72,
Sure.
somewhere around that range. But Dion Lewis had all the catches, and I think he, again, was somewhere in the 6-7 catch range, and he did get a touchdown. So,
Right.
but I think anybody down there, you're looking pretty good.
Okay.
I like him. Arizona at Pittsburgh, I think, is another nice matchup on the
Pittsburgh.
Arizona side.
Okay.
The backfield again is a little bit hazy down there.
Sure.
Looks like Andre Ellington came back last week, but that's
What does that
Chris
mean,
Johnson's backfield right now. Yeah, it's his
Right.
backfield until he loses it.
Okay.
I really like Atlanta at New Orleans is another great one. I think
On the Atlanta side
Matt
or the New
Ryan-
Orleans side?
on Atlanta side
Okay,
for
that's
sure.
what I
And the
thought.
defense is rolling right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, they're doing really
Yeah,
well.
they are. They're really good defense right now. Atlanta's looking really good.
Would you
Julio
play that
Jones,
defense if
Devonta
you had
Freeman.
Would you play the Falcons?
Yeah, I would maybe stay away from that a little bit. Breeze is kind of catching up. He's thrown, for 300 yards last week and looking pretty good with a couple of touchdowns. One of the defenses that I was dropping and going back to was the Jets this week, which
Oh,
yeah.
we'll see what happens
Oh,
with
yeah.
that.
I almost shit
and
out of
then-
that D. Woo, boy, that's wonderful to watch.
And then the Denver at Cleveland game could be kind of interesting with Josh McCown doing what he's doing. But we'll see. Denver's defense looks so good.
Yeah.
That's another defense that I'm definitely plugging and playing right now.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Nick. We really appreciate your input, and we look forward to your picks next week. But until then, thank you so much, buddy, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, have a good night, guys. Thanks a lot.
Later,
Adios.
Nick. Bye. Picks. Not affiliated by Fox Sports or Fox Sports anything.
Or
Fox,
anything related to
Fox,
anything.
Foxes or
Not our friend. No, we don't
minks.
even know what foxes
We don't
say,
know.
or cougars, or any other animal.
Lynx
Yeah.
or
Or
tigers.
Wolverines.
We don't- any kittens, cats.
So we definitely are not
Even
a
dogs. We are not affiliated with dogs.
Not
or
dogs.
any sort of animals.
Really any
whatsoever.
animal.
Yes.
Maybe mongoose. No, that's a bike company, not mongoose. Weasel.
Ostriches and unrelated things. But
Uh,
that was fun. I really.
That was good, man. That was. I think
Nick was
we learned
great.
A lot of stuff. It was nice to get all that information. See, this guy knows it. He can read. He knows that. He
It
knows
takes
these
a lot
words.
of not just watching football, but just the understanding
Right.
a lot of deeper things than just, oh, hey, I really love this guy. Is
Yeah.
the matchup favorable? Is
Yep.
it where's he going? Has
What's
he
this
had
guy's? What's this? What's the coach's offense style?
exactly? It's a nice thing to have.
Oh, yeah.
A friend like that in your pocket. So if you
I play against him in 2 leagues, so I can't ask him too many questions. only questions that are.
That's such a hoot. No, you should at least prod him for one doozy of a question. See every week,
every week
to
It's
see if he'll,
what
like,
do
give
you
it up.
Think? Yeah.
especially when you're playing him.
Yes.
So,
he's,
Matty,
he's very good.
You got to let me know when we go to the Dominican Republic and how long it's going to take me to find a girl because I need a heads up. We're going like February-ish?
No, December.
December. All right. All right.
Hey,
all right.
it's coming up.
Yeah.
So
I gotta-
before, or after Christmas?
I mean, I know a lot of
No, we'll
girls.
probably leave Christmas.
I know
Day.
a lot of gals. Christmas Day.
Mhm.
Let's do it.
Christmas Day, and
You
then
haven't
we'll
booked
come back.
anything yet, have you?
No,
Okay.
no, we
All right.
haven't.
Excellent.
Probably gonna book it tonight.
Oh, really? Oh, wait, give me a little heads up here. I like.
I
Like,
have
let
no
me know
idea.
what.
The wife is in charge of it this
Let
year.
me
I
know
did
what
last
hotel
year.
we're staying at least.
I can let you
Give
know.
me the
but,
yeah.
but as far as
Hey,
where
I'm gonna
she's
do-
picking it this
Oh,
time.
yeah.
I'm gonna do.
I did it
you-
the last time.
I'm gonna do you and the wifey a favor, and I'm gonna book us on the other side of the hotel, so you don't hear the. Just
For
me
those of you
wrecking-
who don't see
Ah,
it,
you just,
Joe is doing
the
sex
radio.
movements.
Sex moves. Sex moves. It's,
Sex movements.
I call it the above ground railroad.
Is that because you only have sex with black girls?
Should we wrap it up?
No.
You find them in the south, you have sex with them
It's
there, and you
great,
move
Matty.
them up north.
Yeah. I got a place up here. Got a real
That's
nice place.
super racial. We're building a new building for our at our corporate campus where I work, and someone was like, "Yeah, are we still building tunnels?" And someone was like, "We were never gonna build tunnels. That's really hard." And I'm like, "Yeah, ask Harriet Tubman. That shit's hard to maintain."
You made a Harriet Tubman reference at work, and you didn't have to go see HR. Like
No.
that's.
Nope.
You
I'm
really
a
gotta
Jew. I get a
squeeze
lot
one
of
that
pass.
through there. Yeah, it's. Do you have to say that sometimes?
I get
at
a lot
work?
of pass. I'm Jewish.
I'm
guys.
a Jew.
I'm a
It's
Jew.
okay. I'm a Jew. It's the Sabbath.
Well, it wasn't.
It
'cause
wasn't.
It wouldn't be working.
It wouldn't. Yeah.
Should we wrap it up?
Oh,
Let's
yeah,
wrap
let's
it
do
up,
about an
folks.
hour.
Hey,
Well, you
thank
got a
you so
second-
much for
do you got a
stopping
second,
and
song on there.
Yeah.
for the shit show. And you're about to hear one of Maddie's other
This is the first time we're hearing
songs.
it.
The first time we're hearing it too.
Hopefully it'll the volume won't be
Play us
super
out, Maddie.
loud.
What was it? What's this one called?
Oh, here we go.
What's it called?
Don't have a name
don't
for
know.
it yet.
Yeah, his name is Suckaladir.
Yeah.
I got all excited with this. It was all the crack stuff.
Yes.
Kind of like the other one, but a little different.
That was awesome. That was fucking radical, dude.
Hold on one second. Joe, I'll play that second one real quick.
Yeah.